Welcome to Monkey Chatter. Monkey Chatter is a podcast by three great friends who have different perspectives on all things wellness. So let's jump right into today's topic.
Hello, this is Amy, and I am here with Lara and Michelle. And today's episode is going to be super interesting, I think, because I just came upon some notes that are making me really rethink lots of things. So our topic today is mid-year reset. And we thought we'd take some time to talk about where we are, kind of check in with where we are in our health and wellness, where we are with the intentions that we set at the beginning of the year, which is going to be super entertaining. And hopefully Lara and Michelle did a little better than I've done thus far. So to start, I just thought I'd read, and it's so appropriate. I did not do this on purpose. But this was a little meme that I posted this morning on my Bit by Bit page. And granted, by the time you guys hear this podcast, it'll be long gone out of my stories, but I may have to share it again. We may have to share it on Monkey Chatter.
Yeah,
because it's pretty good. But it basically is this meme that says therapist, and then the quotes after that. Why is resting so hard for you? And then after that, it's me answering the question, because I confuse rest with laziness and laziness with failure and failure with unworthiness. And so it just so happens that since we're doing a mid-year check-in on where we are with our intentions, that my intention this year was supposed to be being not doing. And I just made the comment to Lara and Michelle before we started recording that I really screwed the pooch on that so far. So
yeah, what did you do the last week? What two things did you just do?
Oh no, it wasn't in the same week. It was like it was like a week apart.
Oh, still.
No, I just did 2 races, but they were like a 5K and a 6K.
In 100-degree weather.
Well, but yeah. But the funniest part, and this is what I haven't shared with Lara and Michelle yet, because we decided we should just start recording so it was in real time. I have my notes from when we talked about our intentions at the beginning of the year. And under being, I want to be present, calm, quiet, still, content, and less rushed. And under the not doing was not having to-do lists, not doing everything, not having checklists, and clearing my space. I have done a little bit of clearing of space, though. And then I also have more space in my calendar, more rest and downtime, and then the less stuff and clutter. So I give myself a big fat red F on
I love you give yourself a big fat red F. Okay, all right. So I gotta step in here.
This is hilarious.
One, I know in the first quarter, and this is normal, right? This is what happens, and this is why you do a mid-year reset. So we all start out because, January intentions, New Year's resolutions, all the things. So we're kind of aware in that first quarter, at least the first quarter of the first month. So I know that you definitely did change some things. Like you were taking more time to read sort of differently, like you were allocating your time differently. I don't know how long that lasted.
It lasted when there was snow on the ground, or when it was really cold and windy outside. Not even snow, but when it was really cold and windy, it lasted about then.
Okay, and that's something. So I think that's something to notice, right? Like if you think about just natural cycles of life, when it's cold and snowy, that's a really good time to sort of hibernate, right? Like it's easier. Right. So if you're going to set that kind of a goal or an intention for yourself, that's a really good time to do it. Right. And so the first part of that season, you did well. So you don't get an F for that. You really attempted that. Right. And then, right. And the year is not over. So maybe you get another like November and December or something gets a little, you get to put a little more time there. I think we get a little hung up on it's either all this or all that. We get an F or an A, and there's nothing in the middle. And yeah, I think we need to
Well,
I
there's
think we need
really
to stop doing
You
that.
have time to bring that grade up.
yeah.
Yes,
I was
you
gonna
do.
do I have time for extra credit?
Yes, we're giving you extra credit
There's
before we
really
get off of here
nothing that I
today.
wrote on this list that warrants anything.
Oh,
Like,
cancel that. That is so not true.
seriously though.
Not, Amy. Not
Now
true.
wait, I did recently see a picture of you in a hammock.
Yes,
Oh.
in the book.
That was the 4th of July.
That's
yeah.
hey, that is
That-
extra credit.
That
That
counts.
was after I ran the race.
Yeah, but so
But
okay,
that was
people. Like a little balance and a little grace and a little like so this is when I was thinking about what I was going to talk about from sort of more of a coaching standpoint.
How's
think
it
it's
how's it feel to have a resistant client?
I love it. I'm like, this is so cool because this is me. I'm like, yay, I know exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. But I think that's one of the reasons why a mid-year reset or sort of a even when like you have a goal or whatever, to have sort of check-ins set up, because one of the things that I do for sure, and another reason to work with a coach is when I sat down to think about this, I'm like, one of the first things that you really do when you do a reset or a mid-year reset is reflect on what has happened. And I got to tell you, I was like, kind of like Amy, I was like, wait, what did I do for the last 6 months? Like, I couldn't even, it was really hard to even recall, like, forget setting the intention and all that mess, but what did I actually do in the last 6 months? Like, that, we lose track of our lives. Like, people talk about getting to the end of their life, or all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, what happened? Right? Like, how did that happen? And so I think there's real value in like these things like mid-year resets, or if you're working with a client, right? I love that, like, my trainer, right, or my coach is gonna be sort of paying attention to that stuff, so they can say, hey, you just did, I don't know, 8 pull-ups and you only did 6 last week, right? Because I don't do a good job of noticing what is actually happening every day, right? I mean, it was hard. It was hard. I was like, what the hell did I do? Sorry, Amy. What the heck did I
Oh my
do for
God.
the last 6 months? How did I get here? Did anything happen? Did I change anything? Was there any improvement? Did I make any progress? I have no idea. I don't know what happened. Like,
Yeah, and I do tell like the people, the ladies. It's so funny that you said that, because I need to do a little check in with my Faithfully Fit ladies this week too, because I literally just said to them last week, because I set the weights out and stuff, and when they first started, it was like 2, 3, 5, maybe 8 pounds. Now granted, we didn't have heavier dumbbells at that point in time because we didn't have like much equipment at all. But now that we do, like, I said to them last Wednesday, I was like, you'll notice that I didn't even put any, I call them in their baby rattles, like the little like 2 and 3 pound weights. I was like, you guys realize that I didn't even put your baby rattles out, right? Because you don't need those anymore. So yeah, I'm like, I keep track of my like physical stuff. Yeah, like lifts and different weights and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's because that's not hard for you. That's
Yeah.
like, that is your thing. But when it comes to like keeping track of like your intention to rest and take more time for yourself,
It's
and
just really funny that I found these
like
notes.
and it's so easy for you to like track weights and reps and miles and all that. But when it comes to like rest, it's like, well, I deserve it because I ran a race today.
I did go get a massage a couple weeks ago.
Ooh, that's
Yay,
a plus.
Amy.
That's extra homework, or not extra homework. That's a bonus,
extra credit.
whatever.
You get a big
Extra
gold
credit.
star for that.
That's definitely extra credit for Amy.
Yeah, I do like a massage. I do like a good massage.
So that's something you could count towards your grade improvement.
Yeah.
Schedule more of them.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, enough about me.
All right,
How about you
Lara.
guys?
Lara,
Uh,
give us an update. I don't remember what your
Um,
intention was either. I'm a terrible
Oh,
friend.
it was flourish and nourish. I remember
yeah,
hers.
it was
Oh, yeah.
Or
nourish and
nourish.
flourish. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Sorry, I
my
had them backwards.
intention was, well, and that's because I had a specific way. It was nourish and flourish because my thought was if I nourish myself, then in turn, I and my business will flourish. But one thing I learned is I think instead of making my big intention for the year every year, instead of making it in January, I think I would be better to make it in the spring because I am typically not motivated in January and I do want to hibernate and I tend to want, to like not tackle anything new or big. And so even though nourish was easy to accomplish in the winter, I also at the time tackled a big expansion at the salt cave, and I will never do that again as far as that timing because I was not nourishing myself the first 3 months of the year. I was very stressed. I had a lot of stuff changing and going on, and it was just not the right time of the year for me to be doing that. So I kind of give myself an F on the first half of the year. But
people with that.
well, maybe let's say the first quarter. How's that?
don't know.
Quarter, I get a big fat F.
You
But
don't get a big fat F
this,
because, okay, so this is so interesting. Number one, if you set the intention, like you're above F land right away, right? Because you set the intention, it makes you a little aware for a while anyway, until you forget it, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I don't even remember what it was. But in the back of your mind, even though Amy, you like kind of forgot the exact wording, you certainly knew what the intention was. Like it was always in the
Grand
back, like
scheme.
you knew, right? And so even if you're not doing like these specific things that you think need to be on the checklist to meet the intention, it's still, once you set it, I mean, so many people just set them and leave them,
yeah,
right? And then
that's
life
Set it and
true.
forget it.
Yeah, set it and forget it. And then at the end of the year, they're like, look what happened. Isn't that amazing how that all works out? So, Lara, I know you a little bit, and we certainly have been chatting every month, a couple times a month. So I know that you did do things to nourish yourself in that first quarter, even though it was a little crazy, but you definitely did things to nourish yourself and get you through that, right?
Yeah,
So,
I probably tried a few things. I don't remember doing a lot or sticking to a very good routine of it. But I mean, other than
it
like I
doesn't
always
give
do
you an
my
F
yoga
though,
and
right?
yeah, maybe it's more like a C. But also like I think it was a valuable lesson because I mean, at least in the northern hemisphere, I feel like spring is a more natural time to do a big project or to birth something. So I kind of feel like for big intentions, because I mean, I know that intention was really more of like I want to feel a certain way. But I think because of that project happening at the same time, that was hard. But I will say the second quarter, I started a coaching class, group coaching with um, my wonderful mentor, Bethany Bubenzer, and it was called Creatrix Academy. And it was super nourishing. So that we did a lot of nourishing activities, I guess, or practices. Yeah.
Those
So
things.
that got me back into the whole frame of mind. And then I did start saying, okay, I'm going to do certain things for myself every week. Like I've been doing the infrared sauna. That's one thing I added to my routine. I'm doing the infrared sauna every, at least once a week. And I can already tell, like, I am feeling better, but I not that I was feeling bad, but I do feel a little more energy. And I also notice when I get in there, my tolerance is just better for being in there. I can do higher heat. I can do longer. It doesn't, drag on as much. And I sweat quicker. So I'm not a big sweater. I don't sweat quickly or easily. And my face gets really red. Like when I work out, it takes me forever to get really super sweaty. And it's almost like, huh. But in there, I can feel it. It's like starting to kick in earlier and earlier, which is good for you, obviously. So yeah. And now the second half of the year, I think I'm definitely doing more things. And despite my hatred of cold plunge, I am doing the cold shower off and on thing a couple times a week. You'll have to listen to a previous episode to find out how much I hate cold plunge.
Yeah, I think that was just the last
Was
one.
it the last
maybe.
one? It was,
episode 41.
I think there's one in between.
oh, there's
maybe.
one in between, the summer one.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
episode 40.
Yeah, episode 40. But yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe I would not give myself an A for sure, because the first 3 months were crazy and I was feeling it, and I didn't get sick, knock on wood. That's usually what happens when I get stressed and not nourishing myself. I'll
So
get
you must
sick.
have been nourishing yourself enough.
Just enough.
To not get, and I find it really interesting that we want to grade it.
That is interesting.
Right? Like, what is that about? Like, and we sort of randomly decide on our own what failure and success are. Like I'm like, what would you have to do to warrant an A? Like,
So
Well,
that's
maybe
such a
at
good
least
question.
get something on this list.
well, you get good things on that.
Well, I love how
list.
Amy had very specific goals, and I don't remember having, and I can't find my notes. Oh, that's not a surprise for me, and I'm not surprised that Amy has hers. But like that's something else. Like maybe I need to do a better job is being more specific about the outcome. Like say, like this is how I want to feel at this stage, or I want to be doing self-care, twice a week at this, whatever. But that's a good question, is like,
It is, right?
because we don't have any way to grade ourselves if we don't give ourselves like a specific goal or checklist.
Yeah. And here's
Measurable.
my other, why do you have to grade yourself? Like,
Because we're competitive. We
Yeah.
want to win.
like, oh my goodness.
We're goal-driven individuals.
I want an A, and I'm going to make the rules about how I get an A, and I am going to kill myself to get the A, like no matter what. And I can only have an A if I am laying in bed, not doing anything, and I am just being and not doing for 3 hours a day. Like that would be it. Like, I don't know, what would an A be? I don't know what an A would be.
My eyes out.
Right?
Like that makes me twitchy just hearing you say
Right.
that. So, like,
Doing nothing for
Lay
3
there
full
and
hours a
done.
day. That would be
3
actually hard
hours.
for most people.
Wait, right? I don't know. So I just find that I'm always really interested in how we set our own standards and expectations and then talk about how we fail to meet them. I'm like, well, you set them.
That's
Like,
true.
what do you have to do to get there, right?
Do we
And
just need to be more realistic?
and then feel bad because we didn't meet these expectations that we set. So yeah, it's just an interesting conversation,
It
right?
does.
And yeah, anyway.
Well, how did you do? How do you feel you did?
Yeah, it's so
Are you
funny
as
because-
kind to yourself as you are to us?
Oh God, are you kidding? So like I was in, like a month in, and I'm like, and Lauren, my coach that we interviewed, I had set my intention at her retreat. I don't know when I went to that, but must have been in December.
I was gonna say, I think it was December, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like mid-December.
because, I love the whole process of the setting the intention and working on my wheel, and I really invested some time and energy in that one this year. And
Can I
she
just
asked-
point out
Yeah.
that well, we'll talk about what your intention was, but that you are like basically in khaki right now.
Yes, I was going to say that, right?
Did you do that on purpose?
No,
Oh,
and
that's
I
right.
thought of it earlier. I'm like, oh, this is so classic. Like, this is classic.
Like camouflage.
Yeah, right? Like gray and tan, right?
At
Like,
least
can
it's
you
not
get
black or
beige?
gray.
Right? It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Well, mate, your shirt
Anyway.
is gray, isn't it? Oh,
yeah,
man.
it's gray. It's gray.
Boo.
And
Oh.
khaki.
I thought it was
Right.
like an army green. And
I did too,
No,
but
no,
it's gray.
It's not
Khaki, yes.
even. It's not even a color, right? It's like. So Lauren usually checks in after you do something like that. And I think it was February or March. She called me about something else. She's like, "How you doing with your wheel?" And I'm like, well, that was a definitely, that intention was a major fail. Like, it just was a fail intention. It wasn't a good. It seemed okay at the time, but it wasn't one that like obviously that caught me and made me. Sometimes they're great, kind of like that one year that you had the one that was so resonant for you, Amy,
Mhm.
and they really drive what you do. I will say mine was live in color, which is why we're joking about my gray and my beige. And yeah, and it just,
Yeah.
anyway.
But surely that intention was not just about clothing.
No. And it sticks in the back of my head. Like it wasn't about clothing at all, really. And it sticks in the back of my head, and I'm kind of thinking as I'm talking to you guys, like, all right, how do I breathe some life into that and that's why these resets are so cool, right? Like if you take the time to say, huh, okay, so what would that look like going forward? How do I, if I wanted to pick that intention back up and use it for the rest of the year, or it's okay to change your intention in the middle of you can change it whenever you want. Like
So that's
it's
a good point.
yours.
Like, why can't we look at
You
it's
can.
mid-year
Yep.
and we can say, hey, this intention isn't serving me like I hoped it would.
Or I'm done,
So, or
right?
I don't like it,
Or
or
we
I've
did
met
it.
my goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then start all over again and do
Yes.
a mid-year
You can.
reset intention setting practice
Yeah.
or exercise.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, when I was trying to do a little research on how other people sort of work with these resets. And the Good Life Project, which is a podcast that I listen to, is doing a little series on, the mid-year reset and what to do. And so he had some interesting thoughts, especially on like how to break it out, like reflect first on what actually went on. Right? Like, what did that look like? And then, sort of reassess, do you want to keep going? Do you want to change it up? Can you just make a few little tweaks? Like, does it just need a little like, a little change? Yeah. So I think so often, well, first of all, it always amazes me that I can't really remember what went on like the previous 6 months. I'm
Yeah.
always like, now if I sit down with my calendar,
I was gonna
right?
say, if I look through my phone right now, I could remember.
Pictures or something that'll trigger your memory. But I'm like, it does seem a little crazy that I can't just sit here and at least name, I mean, it's been 6 months, 3 or 4 like highlights.
Well, we went to Lexington.
We did. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a good one.
And
But
that
I
was
mean,
really living in color. I mean, we did
yeah.
like photo shoots. You guys did a big wellness thing for your work people. Like, that's a pretty
that was
big
fun. I
step.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but it's that kind of stuff. Like if you don't take a minute, and maybe it is something that's better done with like a coach or other people, because to try and do it yourself, I think gets a little stuck. Like, oh, I'm going to give myself an F because I didn't do any of the things. Well, clearly that's not true.
Yeah, and like we just reminded you of two things that you might not have just come up with immediately on your own.
And I should have, right? Like that's just crazy. So I don't know. I think we live so much of our lives nowadays, maybe it's always been this way, on like autopilot, and the days just one after the other. It's like when you're driving, metaphor, when you drive your car, that's like your life, and you are driving along and you don't know where you are or what exit you just passed, or did I pass an exit? Or
The opposite of
Or how did I get home?
How did I get home? Yeah. Right?
Yeah, and we've talked about mindfulness here before, and that is the complete opposite of mindfulness and being present.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to check out, especially when you're doing something routine.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the time, is when you are doing the routine, that's the time to make it matter, to be present and not, even if you're driving, you're doing something, but you can be more present, not be thinking about what's ahead or something you have to do that day or what you did earlier, but maybe focusing on the drive itself, like looking at something you maybe didn't notice, or, you know, checking out, I don't know, like, oh, they just redid that building downtown, or like really making a point to be mindful about it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Noticing.
so that's my thought on the mid-year reset thing, is that number one, I think even if you don't do it at mid-year, like at certain points, you need to stop and just say, hey, what have I been doing for the last couple months? Is that what I want to be doing? Right? Because then you can ask those questions. But if you don't even know what you did, it's hard to know if it was something that you wanted to be doing or that you could do differently or that you want to change. Like it's hard to make change if you aren't even aware of what has unfolded or those things that I did I like them? Did I not like them? Do I want more of those? Do I want less of those? But if you're not even aware of what those were, it makes it super hard to make change. And that, again, I think is where a good coach, just somebody else in your life, whether it's your fitness and wellness coach, whether it's your, yoga and meditation instructor, whether it's your quote unquote business and life coach, but somebody just to help you give you a place to pause and look and ask somebody who's going to ask those questions. Like, what are the 3 things that you did in the last 6 months that you remember?
Well, that's a good little tip to throw out there right now then. Like, what would you suggest, like, as a little practice to go back and look at our intentions for the year? Like, how would we just get started if we were going to do that right after we got off of this podcast?
Yeah, the first thing I would do would be just sit for a second and think about the last 3 months or 6 months, whichever, time frame, even the last week. Like if you want to start really small and sort of easily grabbed, what are 3 things that happened or I did or that I actually remember, right? And then, sort of pull those out and then how did that make me feel, right? Did I like doing it? Did I not like it? Is this, where does it sort of fall? And then the third question, which is so Martha Becky. So for folks who know, I just love Martha Beck. And one of the things she talks about is, making those tiny micro decisions. Do I want more of that or do I want less of that? And how to, pick more of the things you want more of. And that fills time. So there's less time for the things you want less of, right? So do less of the things you don't like. And it goes back to not having to live life as an A or an F, right? It goes back to I really enjoyed doing whatever it was. How can I get, 5 more minutes of that in my day? And I really don't like doing why. So how do I get 5 minutes less of that in my day? I think she talks about like little turtle steps and just those micro moves, especially if you're not used to doing that kind of thing or grabbing that kind of time and space for yourself. Like for Amy, right? She's like, I like massages. Okay, how do you get more of those? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
And like, couldn't you even work that in as you're coaching? Like you're coaching these ladies at the church. Like, why not have like a chair massage person come with their massage chair and like surprise them one day and be like, hey, we all get 5 minutes of chair massage because, at the end of the day or whatever. Like I think sharing stuff like that also makes you feel more validated because they're all going to love it. Let's face it.
Yeah. The funny thing is because some of them have been listening to the podcast. And so they want to try a salt cave now. So they've been looking at stuff.
Yeah.
So
there's probably several. Well, we know one. We know of one.
Yeah. They the one girl posted. We have like a little private Facebook group for them, and the one girl found a place. So yeah, we need to get that.
I love that.
Scheduled.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, that's cool. Let's go to that.
But like sometimes I feel like when you model that, like what you want, if you model what you want, like you then automatically like create more of it in your life.
Yeah. Well, what is that? I mean, what you put attention to grows, right? That's the bottom line. And so if you start to notice the things that, and Lara, I think about you when you decided consciously to focus on abundance. I don't even remember when that was. Was that the end of 24?
It was like towards the end of last year. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you were like conscious of, I want more of that. And you went about it like, and consciously put more of that into your day. That will stick with me forever. Right.
Well, and it really all stemmed from practicing gratitude. And
yep.
I don't know that I would have figured that out on my own, but I think because I was following like a plan and I was listening to certain courses and meditations about abundance, like you can't just wish for more abundance and it shows up, there's some very specific things, that come with it. And it's just kind of amazing how that worked. And you also can't like be too eager because like at some point I had like I was all manifesting abundance and doing all this thing. And then I had a little fender bender that turned into a totaling out of my car, which initially seemed like a pretty big deal and not abundant in any way, shape, or form. And then in the end, it turned out to be in my big favor what happened. Because I got to keep the car. I wasn't ready to buy a new car anyways. And it was, I definitely came out on the good end of that.
Yeah, there's that old fable, and I don't know it well enough but it basically is like, my son broke his leg. Oh, that's too bad. And then he says something that's, do you know the one I'm talking about? Something that's
where he
positive.
ends up not going to war.
Right. He ends up, exactly. Yeah. And so I think, I think there's, there's a big lesson in there. Like,
you don't always get what you want, but
sometimes you get what you need.
Sometimes you get what you need. Gotta love Mick Jagger. That guy's doing something right.
Is he still alive?
Oh my God. You need to Google him because not only is he still alive, he is still performing.
Oh.
And he's like 80 something.
Yeah.
He's either 80 or like 81.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check him out. Go find a YouTube video. It is incredible. The energy.
So totally random, because that's what we do here.
Shocker.
I just saw a post because now I'm really into all this, like, how to age well. And, as you get a little older, you're looking at all these things.
Did you see the guy who finished Badwater?
No.
Oh.
What is that?
Okay. No, go ahead.
Tell.
So the oldest guy on to ever finish Badwater 135, which is 135 miles.
You gotta explain that. I have no idea.
I don't know what Badwater is.
Never heard of it.
Give us a few more details.
So there's a race that goes through Death Valley called Badwater 135. So it's 135 miles through Death Valley, and then you finish at is it Mount Whitney? Is that out there? Does that sound right? I don't know.
Maybe.
I think it's Mount Whitney. So yeah, he just finished. He's the oldest finisher to ever complete it, and he was 80.
Wow.
Like it literally just happened last week, I think. And they interviewed him in the end, and he's like, "You guys, that's a cute clip." They're like, any words of advice or anything like that? And he's like, "Yeah, when you turn 80, find another way to celebrate it." Not this, but I mean, he still looked great. Like for doing that race, like. He still looked great at the end.
That's amazing.
Yeah. He almost finished a couple of years ago. I can't remember what year it was. And there's video, and that's talk about like, some really cool video to watch. But he was like bear crawling to try to make the time cutoff. And he missed the time cutoff and didn't finish it like under the time. But yeah, this year he did it.
He did it again. Wow.
Yeah, I forget what his name is, but
that's
cool.
incredible.
Anyway, sorry, I totally diverted that conversation.
Well, that's okay, because now I'm like, wait, what was it? I hope I don't get it wrong.
Well, like the whole aging well thing, it's not just living longer, it's living longer better. And we've talked about that before, but yeah. My dad inspires me when it comes to that, to be honest. He's 81, 82. Oh, sorry, Dad.
Should know that.
He's at 81 or 82.
I don't know.
His birthday is coming. His birthday is coming soon. at any rate, like he just got back from a trip that he made with his wife that they flew out to the west, but then they drove, rented a car or whatever, and they drove all over the west. They went to national parks, they went to up the Oregon coast, they went down to California, like for like 2 or 2.5 weeks, just like seeing all their photos. And I mean, I was just amazed at how healthy and happy he looks. I mean, I see him, but it's been a little while since I've seen him, but I just seeing him on that trip was so inspiring. Like when I'm 80, I want to be able to do those things, and enjoy life.
Yeah. Right. So I think, so to bring us sort of back to the mid-year reset idea, those things, so if you think about what you just said, right? That nugget right there can inform whatever you're going to set up for the rest of the year. Right? Like if I was
Yeah.
coaching you and you said that, I'd be like, and that sounded so sincere and real and from the heart, and like you really, there's something there that's very tangible for you. So
Yeah, yeah.
we
I
just
think
lost
we lost
Amy.
Amy, but we were talking before this that there's some storms in all three of our areas that were knocking internet in and out. So we may have lost Amy.
I'll just keep going.
Hopefully she'll get back on here in a minute.
But I
But
think,
I agree.
yeah, take a little piece of that or a nugget of that, and like so hang with your nourish and flourish, which was a really good one, and build it, if that's the ultimate, I don't want to call it a goal because that is more of an intention, like how you want to live
Yeah.
into the next years and so that informs what you do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like you to a certain degree, Michelle. Like, I don't want to put words in your mouth,
You can.
but my guess is that we're more like when it comes to like doing the workout thing, and like it's not that I know the value of it, and
Mm.
I'm never gonna say I don't have time for that. I know I can make time for it. I'm just not into it enough. Like I am not wanting to do it. I do yoga and I do
Mm.
my walks every day, which I'm working up to faster and better walks, and I do the sauna now, but like I'm not very good at like sticking to an exercise, like cardio,
Mm.
weights, all that. So that is something I do want to work on over the next few years.
Mm.
I did buy a vibration plate because it's supposed to
There
be
we
good for
go.
your joints and your balance
Mm.
and your pelvic floor and all that as you age. So I can do things like that,
Yeah.
but I'm not very good at like forcing myself to do like big cardio, or I guess I
Well,
just don't like it.
and I think, well, and so here are some thoughts around that. If there is another way to sort of achieve that feeling, because really what you're after is yes, health and wellness, but also it sounds like just your dad's whole approach, right?
Yeah, just be able to be mobile and be able to go and do things and enjoy life.
And that looks different for everybody. Like, we don't all get there the same way. Like, I'm a little like you, right? Like, I don't like the gym. Now, I've found a place and people that are willing to put up with my, whiny and limited, um, it's so interesting because, they'll ask me things like, well, what's your goal, and what are we working toward? And I'm like, listen, I just come here because I don't want to fall down and break a hip.
Yeah,
Right?
I love that though. Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Like,
Like
is
that's
it
why I'm
okay
here.
to just say, look, I'm not going to run marathons and I'm
Nope.
not interested in doing that, but I don't want to break bones when I fall. And actually, I'd like to even prevent myself from falling.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then also, I want to be able to get up and down off the potty without assistance.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm willing to, and this is a really low key kind of place. And again, they've been happy to work with me in sort of a weird way that's not like the normal way. Like I'm not showing up for class and being like, yay, let's, knock out a lot of weight. But he definitely is getting me to do more weight and that kind of thing. But I think
That's lucky to find a place like that
uh
where they don't just try to put you into a box.
no, and they're really, really good there. Underwood Park CrossFit in Fort
Uh,
Edward, New York, they're great. Um, But all that to say that we don't all have to get there the same way. And it goes back to how we started this podcast. The idea of we decide what's an A and an F. So why would Lara make something she doesn't like to do be how she gets an A? Yay, Amy's back. Right? So that
Yeah,
just
good
doesn't make
point.
sense
Yay,
to
Amy's
me.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I mean, yeah. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
it's
sorry guys. It's like
Storm?
yeah,
Storm?
nice
Yeah.
storms. Yeah, our
well,
internet went
yeah,
out.
I'm glad you came back.
I know.
Yay, Amy.
We were talking about just like how everybody doesn't have to get to their ultimate like goal the same way, I guess. It's kind of in a nutshell, like finding your unique route to hit whatever intention you set. Knowing that, you know, like especially in our case, like most people probably want to age gracefully and be able to be mobile and not fall down and break things, and maybe to, you know, travel, or I was telling Michelle, get up off the potty without help.
Yeah.
Right?
So, but it doesn't look the same for everybody to get there and be able to do it and be able to
Right.
achieve that.
Like I probably am not going to do that race when I'm 80.
Me
yeah.
neither.
His name is
And
Bob
I-
Amy
Becker.
might.
Right? And I will not, that will not be how I define my A. Right? Like I'm not going to say, oh, I was a big fail because I didn't do the race and here I am 80 and I should have done the race, right? But if I was somebody who was going to, you know, if I don't do that, then I don't get an A, you know, I have failed at life. So I think we have to be super conscious, thoughtful. Like it, you know, it all goes back to self-awareness, right? Like for Amy, that might be a thing. Like, you know, it would not surprise me at all if at 80, I mean, I won't be around to see it, but if at 80, because I'd be 100.
You might still be.
Yeah, there's,
Me?
I don't know. I don't know if I even want to, well, anyway, cancel that. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody, you know, said, hey, that Amy chick.
Guess what she just did for her 80th birthday?
Right?
Yeah.
She just ran this race. So that wouldn't surprise me at all. I would be completely shocked if Lara did that. I'd be like, really? Lara decided she wanted to run a big ass race. Sorry, swearing.
There you go.
At 80, like I would be a little surprised.
Yeah, that
So-
would probably not be on my agenda.
No.
Now, maybe a parachute jump. Maybe that would be something I would do.
See? Like, so I think it's
Should
really
definitely do it.
When I'm
it.
80.
do it. Jump
Like
out
there
of
was a
the
lady who
It was
did
great.
that.
Yeah.
George Bush did that, didn't he?
Right?
Oh, he
Like,
did? I don't know.
yeah.
Cool.
And if you really want to do that, make that your A, right? Like if, you know, like
Yeah.
and
I want to be able to
yeah.
ride horses. I don't have horses to ride now, but like I always thought like it was so cool that Queen Elizabeth would still go out riding even when she
With
was
her
like in
little
her
corgis
80s.
on those little fell
Yes.
ponies. Oh my God.
Like
love
I want to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so the things you need to be able to do, right? Now that I'm I run into so many mature women who are still riding, right? Because I'm in that group now. And you know, hip flexors, super important. Like you
Yeah,
can't
right?
get on or off if you can't get your leg over the saddle.
Hips and
So-
balance,
Yep. Yeah.
knees, healthy knees. I don't know.
All I can think of when I hear knees is head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Is that how that goes?
Yeah. Just Amy might have froze up again on us. Are you still there?
I'm
But
kind
I
of-
like that. The
You're
head,
you're
shoulder.
pixelated.
Yeah, you might be cutting in and out. But Amy does lead a really rousing rendition of head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
We should do that on the podcast when we're together next time. Amy
Yeah.
can-
Oh, yeah. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and
Yeah.
toes. And I will
Is that
say,
what you think
like,
about when you hear knees, Michelle?
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
Michelle just said.
I kind of missed part of that. You know, I
Yeah.
do that with my Faithfully Fit ladies for warm up sometimes.
I
I
love,
love that.
Well,
It's like a
fun.
perfect little warm up song because, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
think
and
we'll
I still stand by my practice of getting up off the floor without using your hands.
Mm.
That's a
Super
thing I got from Deepak Chopra, and I think he posts a video like every year on his birthday, and he's probably 80. He might be 80. Oh, I hope I didn't overage him. He might be in his 70s.
I'm sure
I'm not saying he looks
he's
old. I
57.
just feel like
I was
he's
gonna
been
say
around
he's
forever.
so he's so, self-aware, well evolved or
Yes.
whatever. He would not,
Yeah, he wouldn't. Yeah, but that's where I picked that up, and I still am really. And you know what? Like you said, being self-aware. One thing I really noticed not long ago was that when I do that, I always lead with my left leg. So hey, I need to change that up and make sure I can get up and down with the other leg too.
Yeah.
Just FYI, he's 78.
Oh, okay, I was close.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well,
Deepak.
you get to a certain point. I don't even remember.
I'm sure he's listening.
I love you anyways. Please forgive me for overaging you.
Oh my God.
He doesn't look like he's 78 either,
No,
to
he
be honest.
does not. No.
I will
Yeah.
hashtag Deepak Chokra when we put this up online.
Yeah, really. We don't. So, and I think this is a good point too, in that when you're talking about checking in and sort of these mid-year resets, one of the things too is sort of all the focus now on midlife resets, like midlife check-ins. And
I'm actually reading a book right now called Halftime.
yes.
Oh,
yes.
interesting.
Yeah. And
Well,
all that Modern Elder Academy stuff, that
Yes.
is all about like, oh, shiny object, just really cool little thought. And I'm not even sure where it came from. Maybe it was the Modern Elder Academy. They do like a newsletter, but they were talking about how this is mostly around men actually, but the cliche was always, guys would hit that midlife crisis thing and they'd go out and get a shiny red sports car or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now instead, the focus is on all these longevity hacks. Like that's the new, like instead of getting the shiny sports car, the focus is on what are all these cool new technologies and stuff that we can do to, make ourselves live longer, look younger, all of that. So they
That's
shouted
kind
out
of-
to like Peter Attia and all of those and they're all in the same age group, right? They're all like 48 to 52 or something. But I thought that was super interesting, like that the focus has shifted from like you hit the same age with the same questions and the same concerns and sort of that midlife, they don't call it a crisis anymore, but that midlife questioning or chrysalis or whatever word you want to use. And instead of like running out and getting the sports car and, they didn't
That
say
is interesting. So they're buying like infrared saunas and cold plunge tubs and going on retreats.
Yes, I thought that was such a cool I was like, oh, that is really kind of interesting. Right?
Yeah, that's kind of a neat shift, actually. It's a better shift than probably just buying a race car.
Right? Or,
Nothing
going out
against
and
fast
getting a
cars,
new
but
girlfriend or,
girlfriend.
ditching the wife and getting a trophy. I don't know, I don't want to really go down that road, so I won't. But I just thought that was such an interesting, especially because I was thinking about this whole reset and, how we look at, pausing to sort of reflect and then tweak and then move forward from a place of, thoughtfulness.
Did you guys just hear the thunder?
I can hear the thunder. Yeah.
Maybe we need to get off of here. Maybe we should wrap this up.
It's getting
before
kinda
Amy gets
close.
electrocuted.
Yeah, well, I think Modern Elder Academy maybe for a future episode because I think that's super fascinating.
I just love that. I just love what they're doing and the conversations they're having. And
yeah, I do too. Maybe because we're all heading that way.
Yeah, I think it is kind of a collective.
To be modern elders.
Yeah. Maybe we should do a retreat there. I know they have them. Maybe the three of us should do that together.
Yeah,
that could be fun.
Yeah, I'm game.
So
yeah, next year.
Very fun. Putting it on my list. All right, ladies. Should we try and wrap this up?
Yeah. Should we do our chant?
Yeah. Let's see if the power goes out.
All right.
Count us down.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Monkey
chatter,
chatter,
monkey chatter,
who
who
you think
matters? I don't know, but Michelle and I looked like we were dead on, but your internet's probably slow, Amy.
I'm just lucky to have internet right now. I'm lucky to have power right now. Based on
Oh, we just got thunder.
what's
All
going
right,
on
be
out there.
careful. Everybody
All
stay
right.
safe.
Thanks for listening to Monkey Chatter today. As a reminder, we want to let you know that while we think we are really smart, none of us are doctors or medical professionals. So anything that we say or suggest on this podcast should be run by your doctor before you make any major lifestyle, nutrition, or medication changes. Take care and be well, friends.